Hola chicos, ¿cómo están? So today we continue our work with indirect object pronouns and the use of the imperfect. Talking about the past, remember our new verb tense that talks about the past. So let me show you the example here. So we have Julio escribió, that's our imperfect, una carta, and then it says a Susana. So remember that the indirect object pronouns are the ones that are showing who is receiving whatever is given in the action. In this case is Julio used to write a letter to Susana, or Julio wrote a letter to Susana. So the indirect object pronouns can replace an indirect object. So who's the indirect object here? Susana. And because it's a person, we're going to use the a. So, a Susana. That's how we end up with the sentence, Julio le escribió a Susana. Le is the indirect object pronoun for he or she. So, her or him, or also the you form. So, let's see what we're going to do here. I'm going to show you the model. Here it says, circle the indirect object pronoun in each sentence and follow the model. So the model has le here. That's what you're going to circle. So on number 1, I'm going to give it to you, and then I'm going to delete it, and you are going to do it on your own. So number 1 says, yo le pedía a mamá una muñeca. So what's the indirect object pronoun? Le. And what's the direct object pronoun? Mamá. Why does it have an A? Because it's a person. They're referring to a person. Okay, let's see B here. B says circle the appropriate indirect object pronoun in parentheses to complete each sentence. Then underline the part of the sentence that indicates to whom the pronoun refers. So the first one is done with you. So done for you. Generalmente mi abuela nos compraba muchos juguetes. Why do we know that it's nos? Because it says a nosotros. And again, it's in the imperfect. So used to buy or bought. Generally, we are going to use the translation for used to buy. But in some situations, we can say also bought. Okay, let's do number 2. Like I said, I'm going to delete it, then you're going to do it on your own. So, mamá y yo siempre le or nos dábamos tarjetas bonitas a la tía. So, who's receiving? Who's the direct object pronoun? La tía. A la tía. It's a person, the aunt. So, what's the pronoun? Le for la tía. All right, so for the second page, letter C. Look at each of the following sentences. First, underline the indirect object pronoun. Then, in the space provided, put the indirect object pronoun that corresponds to the noun you underlined. Follow the model. So you're going to underline the indirect object noun. Sorry, I said pronoun. You're going to underline the indirect object noun. Nuestros padres siempre nos decían la verdad a nosotros. So underline a nosotros. That's the person receiving. So what would be the pronoun for nosotros? Indirect object pronoun for nosotros is nos. Let's do number 1. Por lo general, mis amigos blanc prestaban a mí sus juguetes. Who's the indirect object noun? A mí. And that me, remember, is the yo when you're doing indirect. Remember that we learned a mí me gusta pizza, for example. So when you use the yo for using the indirect objects pronouns, you can't say a yo, you have to say a mí. So that's why we have a mí here. So what's the pronoun? It's going to be me. Por lo general, mis amigos me prestaban a mí sus juguetes. No, now you might say, why do you have a me and also the pronoun? Because sometimes you want this for emphasis in Spanish. In English, you don't do it double. In Spanish, you can, and it is the emphasis. Okay, let's do D. D is the one that is a little bit trickier. So it says, look at the sentences below and write a new sentence with the same meaning, placing the indirect object pronoun differently. Follow the model. So we have seen videos in the ED puzzle when they are saying us that we can put it before the verb. So me gusta. But you can also put it at the end when you have two verbs. So, for example, let me see. Quería, por querer. Ayudar. Quería ayudar. Let's say someone wants to help me. So you can say me quería ayudar or quería ayudarme. So you can place it in the beginning or at the end because there's two verbs. So here we have examples like that. Look at the model. La tía Lisa me quería llevar a la guardería infantil. Answer. La tía Lisa quería llevarme a la guardería infantil. So what's the other way? The way that we started learning this. Let's do it here. So it could also be la tía or tía Lisa me quería llevar a la guardería infantil. So let's do number one together. Yo no les podía mentir a mis padres. So who is the direct object noun? Who's receiving the action? A mis padres. Let's underline it. A mis padres. So what's the pronoun? Les, right? And you have it here. Les podía mentir a mis padres. Let's place it at the end. So we're going to say yo no podía mentirles a mis padres. So what is this one saying? In English, it's saying I could not, poder here could be could not lie to my parents. All right. So that is the work for you today. I hope that it makes sense. And I will see you hopefully in our Zoom call this week. Don't miss it.